I need to work on my HP 5384A frequency counter today, which is written right there. It's been, when it warms up, it's been getting really erratic. It just won't read a proper frequency. And I'd seen a video from another fella online, guessing it's a guy, that said that his filter capacitors for his power supply went bad. And so I believe that's the same problem I'm having with mine. Right there is where you can see where the filter capacitors were. And this is the capacitor that I popped out. It's a Sprague. I tried to look up these numbers online and I got absolutely nowhere with it. The Sprague 180-3276 or the 674D185. I tried both numbers and I got nowhere fast with it. It is a 2200 microfarad 25 volt. However, there are three pins. These are two grounds, and this is the positive. So those are two separate capacitors as far as I know. I'm getting two separate readings from here to here, from this negative to this positive, and this negative to this positive. So I believe it is dual capacitance, even though it doesn't say that on the label. I'm just going to go with it. I figured more capacitance might be better anyway. So, and the only thing I have in my stock are these electrolytics 2250 volt. I don't have any 25 volts, so hopefully that's not going to be an issue. I know some people say that you might not, you want to stick with the voltage that it was originally intended for, unless you're having a problem with the capacitors constantly bubbling out the top. That means that the electrical engineers didn't have the right voltages to begin with. So if you have bulging out the top, I would suggest going with a slightly higher voltage. I'm not having that problem with this one though. It's nice and flat on top, but it's reading very high. It's reading at 2800 per leg, and each reading is, as I said, is different. So I'm going to go with two pairs of these. So this will equal, so that because there were two of these batteries, or two the capacitors in there, as you can see, one, two, which means four. I need to put in four new capacitors because I'm using these smaller. I don't have dual capacitors, so I'm going to put these in. I'm just going to put some heat glue on these and just stand them upright. Just like that, just like that. I'm just going to stand them upright. I'm going to do a nice job though. I'll make it look nice and clean and symmetrical, I guess you would say. But so I've got the positives of each pair tied together. The grounds, because they do have two ground holes, I will run. It's too bad they don't have two positive holes, but they don't. They do have two ground holes, and I did check that these are grounded to the chassis. So the two on the right here are your grounds, and that's the positive. So I'm tying the positive together on these pairs, as you can see here. You can see that well enough. So I've got the positive of that pair tied together and the positive of this pair tied together. And so that will just, each tied one I will tie to that positive single one, and then the grounds I'll run separately dedicated to these grounds. Since there are four holes, I might as well just do that. I could just tie, well, it's because it's just too difficult to tie the positives and negatives together, so I'm just going to do it that way. So all is good. So there you go. I've got the four capacitors in. You can see how I did it there. I can, kind of a mess of wires there, but kind of get the drift of what I did there. And there's another electrolytic hiding underneath this board in the back here. It's a silver one way in the back there. So to take that upper board off, it's pretty easy. It just, this actually just pulls right up and out. Be careful, obviously, you don't want to tear this thing. It's just for this connector back here, which I would never use, and I could probably leave the board out, but I'm going to keep the board in just because. But yeah, this thing just slides out very easily. And then there's hex nuts on the back here. I took that one off already, but hex nuts on the back here. You just loosen them up. Pop that off, and then this can come out. And oh, there's a plastic support here that I have to, you just put a needle nose pliers on there to pinch it, pinch this toward the center. Just a little pincher there, pop that off and then get at that electrolytic. Yeah, check out this capacitor. It's all bulged out on the bottom. I'm glad I took this thing off. It's a 390 microfarad 12 volt. Let's see what it reads. Yeah, it doesn't look healthy at all. Wow. Here we go. Oh my gosh. It reads 614 microfarads. It clearly says 390 microfarads on it. 12 volts, and it's reading 614 microfarads. Yeah, it's done. Whew. Wow. Okay, well, I didn't have a 390. I went through my collection of capacitors. I did have a 330, and I had a 47. So together, they're coming up as 379 microfarad. So, but basically 380 microfarad, not 390, but I think that's be just fine. And since I did that, so I tied the grounds together and the positive together on these two, and I'll do the same as what I did with these other ones. I'll just glue them to the board and tag them on over there. Okay, so I guess I'm pretty well done now. So there's the right here, the two capacitors. I just tied their legs together and soldered them in place. I don't think I need to do much more than that. I mean, they're pretty rigidly in there. I guess I could put maybe a dab of glue between their legs. That might not be a bad thing. I think I might just do that, just in case this thing gets jarred pretty heavily, but yeah, all is good. So that's all the electrolytics, the bigger ones anyway, in here that I'm concerned with. So let's turn it on and see if it works. Got my old signal generator here working. It's, oh gosh, you can't even see it under this light, but there you go, 350 megahertz. And we got ourselves, if I can get this in the camera there, 350 megahertz. So, got a healthy Hewlett-Packard frequency counter back and working. All is good. Thanks for watching.